question is, do higher stages have psychic abilities? The answer is to a question that is loaded, because a lot of the psychic abilities are actually intuitive capacities that activate in higher stages. So you regain intuitions from lower stages that are maximized. Now, do you have the capacity to have visions and things that are considered like no doubt psychic? Well, the intuition is very important because subtleties in the body is one way to have psychic abilities. Knowing the energy fluctuations and what's affecting what, even your own thoughts and words and actions affect your body and affect what you know intuitively or subconsciously to cause reactions, let's say. So that goes up. So a lot of psychic abilities is intuitive. So yes, intuitively, intuitive wise, you're gonna have more psychic abilities. But I think the main question that people are curious about is like talking to aliens or spirits, and no doubt if you did psychedelics you can access that. But um, if you didn't, is it possible? Will these stages make it more possible? I think so. I think it'll make it more possible. Um, you can definitely well people yeah, you become more in touch with your own soul, your own consciousness. You become more in touch with different energies, and energy is also part of the subconscious and the archetypes and souls. So yeah, definitely you'll definitely have psychic abilities in higher stages, but the condition is you need to be in a good state, because if you transcend too high without the needs being fulfilled, I propose and I believe that it'll mess with the brain. It'll mess with the subconscious. It'll mess with your flow, and a person could be perceived as someone with mental illness. They may not have a grounded version of reality. They may not uh, be trusted as having a trustful brain, a brain that's 100% capacity and stuff like that. So that's something to look out for. That you don't want to force these higher states. Oh, I'm in a higher stage. I have to have these. So, and I also believe that brain disease could come if you try to conceive of things that are too high for the mind, and you don't go at a slow enough pace and stuff like that. That's another speculation or hypothesis or even assertion, because I have some evidence for it, where people who've tried to conceive of things before they're ready and intellectualize it, they've had problems in the brain scans. So as long as you go at a steady pace, you don't try to take on things intellectually, and you don't jump too fast, then you should be okay. So that's referring to brain disease. In terms of disorder, that could just be a diagnosis from an irregularity, in the way you're able to function compared to other people who have their needs met. So like a lot of people who they transcend, they don't have their needs met, and they get condemned by society, and they go down a rabbit hole like, oh my gosh, I had a mystical state, and people in the West judge me. So they can be diagnosed, and that could spiral them out of control in terms of sustaining that diagnosis, because you know that's what they believe they have, that's what they were told, so they're like forced in by their little niche to function that way. The niche of doctors. So Teal, as of now, I don't believe Teal has abnormal psychic abilities, but I also know that once you feel happy, once your body feels happy, all of a sudden you have psychic awareness and stuff like that happening all the time. So I don't think right now that Teal is a psychic stage. I do feel like the harmony that this stage brings gives you more reminders, even consciously, that other people, it's not their fault how they function. There's a purpose for it. You're more tolerant, and so that patience that comes in stage Teal will allow is it of itself leading to a higher way of being? Like, oh, that's part of me, you know? And then besides for that, there's the calmness that usually leads to psychic abilities. So that's why stage T will bring psychic abilities. And I've yet to see what stage Aubergine is like. You know, I don't know if it'll take a month. I think the faster your lower needs get met, the faster you transcend. Um, you know, I think it's that simple. People overcomplicate it. It's kind of sad. You know, you get your lower needs met, you feel good in your body with that stage, and then in a month, 3 months, 4 months, maybe less, maybe more, then you move to the next one. You know, and if you have psychic abilities, it's probably because you feel good in your skin, you have esteem, you have a community, you have a name for yourself, you have money, or you feel like you're not going to die. So the beige is not activating constantly in a certain regard, and so you constantly progress higher. That's just how it is. If you change the systems at large, obviously the whole pattern will be towards higher consciousness. And so yeah, the higher stages will have psychic abilities and stuff like that, but it's not automatic. It's just there's a higher probability because higher stages after turquoise, you know, come at the root of where psychic abilities comes from. It comes from a connection between you and the universe itself. Like when there is no I, and that starts in turquoise mainly, then that'll progress more and more in different ways. That will lead to more of this, to more of these kinds of experiences. If you use psychedelics to access these things, you have to wait at least 3 months after the effects wear off, and you know it's not the psychedelic. You know it's your own meditative states that are doing it. To really see what stage you're in and to get a good feel for things. You know, if it's you accessing it or just the drug. Visions can happen, for sure. Knowledge happens. There's also a divide between baseline, or standard or default experiences, you know, from that stage, and and the spiritual experiences that you have in that stage, because each one will have what is normal for that stage, and what is the spiritual version of it. So like a stage clear, let's say a stage clear is either Muji or what's his name? Uh, the one who wrote The Power of Now. I'm just brain gas. Anyways, he might be clear because when you have a certain calmness, it's what's involved in the stage. But you know, I'm still figuring it out because these teachers are kind of, to me, they're dogmatic, even though they're not. I kind of sense a turquoise dogma underneath. So but they've accessed stage clear for sure. So what I see clear, I see that the baseline is just being regular, just being who you are, just being compassion, being love. I mean, in stage teal, that's present, but I still feel red. I still feel base needs. I still feel like there's something that's not there. So I think that once you get into clear, it's like teal times 5 or 10, where there's more compassion. And the way I understand this is, the spiritual experiences are going to be way more and probably more likely to happen, because to reach clear you have to have had needs met. But let's say you never had any needs met all the way up to clear, and you reach like a certain epiphany, that's absolute love and all that, then I'd say you probably access more. I'd say that, but you know, I've had to, because after Aubergine, in my opinion, is going to be a huge pivotal moment in consciousness for the whole world. The same way yellow, yellow is what ushered in the age of psychedelics. Like I think anyone who's taken psychedelics have accessed a good portion of their yellow. and they may end up using money as a default measure to kind of ground themselves, but but they've accessed enough yellow where they had this epiphany. Like they have this conscious awareness that there's something going on here. Like I'm I'm not running the show, or I am running the show, or or why do I take myself so seriously, or why does society take themselves so seriously? Why is there like a, you keep asking the question why once you access stage yellow. Like things befuddle you. It's like these systems shouldn't be this way. Why is it like this? And how do we change that? And it's you have this huge shift in consciousness after yellow. So that happens times two again, or whatever amount in the next stage, aubergine. It's like I wasn't ready for yellow because I was religious. But now like I'm gonna have to probably let go of my beliefs, and I don't really have that many beliefs to begin with. I just believe those who follow me, they know that I believe that the experiences I had were real, like Enki and Lobal. Uh, you had Kali, like different Sumerian deities, stuff like that. All that will probably be challenged or disappear. Um, we'll see, because it may be the opposite. Like that may be the truth, maybe a temporary truth. It may be there may be something that's causing it, whether it's simulation or whether it's collective paradigm or the collective unconscious, underlying paradigm, underlying consciousness. I have yet to see what that stage is going to be like. So to predict clear, I don't know. But assuming Mooji's clear, that would mean that he didn't go through any of that. So that's why I don't think Mooji's clear. I think he accessed what clear is, which is a complete baseline it's a complete a stability of mind, body, spirit, and heart. Enlightenment. And that stability is what is clear, but it doesn't mean he went through the stages. And I propose this idea that you have to go linear wise to some extent, and I don't. Either clear is a different kind of discussion because it's like the root of all enlightenment, or you can say that clear for these people was different because they had a belief system that you had to break down belief systems. So their clear experience was this, but it doesn't necessitate breaking down belief systems. So what that might entail is you'll have your own belief systems in clear. Instead of a belief system that tries to just have a belief system out of for the sake of helping people. It may be it may be a belief system that is something you objectively perceived. I don't know. I'm just trying to brainstorm ideas here that I can't conceive of, because people in the mainstream, they're trying to eliminate all beliefs, as if like that's duality, and like if someone gets possessed and thinks they're a certain deity, you got to listen to that. You got to why are you telling me that's all Maya, and then forget about it? And these people who are saying it's all an illusion, they have like brain disorders. They claim like they're so rational, and they get brain scans. They have these like lesions and stuff like that. So it's problematic for them to be the claim on what is true. They claim the truth is to eliminate beliefs, but some of these people have brain problems. So, in a sense, I have more credence than them, even though they claim to be more correct. So what we're saying here is there could be more truths out there, whether it be extraterrestrials or or interdimensional beings, that might be revealed. Some people are proposing that clear is a stage of communication. At this point, I do see that as possible. Right now, I'm not in communication, consciously at least, with deities. But I think that can change. Because I think it all has to do with your placement. Like, if you feel good about your situation, that is a biological need. So then you're going to be able to access more things because your ego feels stable. It's allowing you to conceive of more perceptions. Meanwhile, if you don't have them, your perceptions are going to be limited to what's going to help you survive. Well, it's not going to help me survive to know about aliens. I've been through that rabbit hole. People get sentimental awards, people get yelled at, people get called crazy, people get hated, people get shadow banned and stuff like that. That is not going to help you. So what? So why should I go down that road? So it could be that I'm not going to want to talk about any of these alien things if I don't have my biological needs met, and I think that's the case. But this raises a bigger question about consciousness. If you have a whole segment of people that agree with you, then that's going to be the area of discussion. It's going to be whatever people with feedback interest in. They believe that it's important. They believe it's interesting. They will cause you to be significant in that regard. They will cause your opinions to be significant in that regard. So, those opinions. So it's a whole interesting game that we're playing, where we're kind of just taking it as it goes. Seeing where the public go with this. And the way the mind is that the knife can't cut itself. So whatever paradigm is created, we're not going to realize that we created it.